Hello and welcome along to this week's edition of Hong Kong Direct, coming to you a bit earlier this time out as we approach our first Saturday meeting for the season. Here's what's coming up on the show this week. And one of the big talking points was the win of Golden 60 in the Sha Tin Trophy last weekend. We'll touch on that, and also we're going to be catching up with one of last weekend's heroes, Derek Leung, in weighing in. Plus Skyfield, he is one of Hong Kong's most exciting horses. Will he be winning again this weekend? I'm Edward Sadler. It's a pleasure to have your company on the show. Our special guest is Tom Biddington, the racing editor from the South China Morning Post. Thanks for joining us on the show this week, Tom.
Thanks, Ed. Great to be here.
Earlier on in the week, you wrote about the possible HKR implications from the weekend just gone. Might be a little while to go before the middle part of December, but last weekend was certainly an important weekend building up towards our biggest meeting here in Hong Kong. Yeah,
definitely. It was fantastic to see Golden 60, the new superstar of Hong Kong racing, continue his winning ways. It's 9 in a row now, and he looks like he's going to be very, very hard to beat in the Hong Kong Mile. But different story in the sprinters ranks. We've got a bit of a lack of depth there, and hopefully we can get someone from overseas to help fix that.
Let's hope so. As far as Golden 60 is concerned then, Tom, he beat Beauty Generation. That's twice he's beaten him now. Was Sunday's Sha Tin Trophy the changing of the guard at the top end of town, if you like?
It certainly seems that way. I wouldn't put a line through Beauty Generation entirely. The conditions certainly weren't there to suit him. He was second up, carrying top weight in a handicap. He'll be better when he's back to set weights, but by the way it looks, it's going to be very, very hard to beat it, for anyone to beat Golden 60. OK, well, if you missed any of it, let's recap what happened last weekend with Doug Chalmers.
The Oriental Watch Sha Tin Trophy. 1600, they're racing.
Sunday's Group 2 Oriental Watch Sha Tin Trophy was built up as a rematch between champion veteran Beauty Generation and emerging superstar Golden 60. Any doubters over the verdict after the first bout in the Celebration Cup were silenced as Golden 60 continued his rise to the top of the ranks in Hong Kong.
Ka Ying Star leads. Golden 60 though, he went to him. Vincent had a look, then he went past him. Southern Legend next from Dances with Dragon, but Golden 60's in front of Ka Ying Star. He's fighting on gamely. Golden 60 half a length. He wants to sit down. He wins. Golden 60 beat a very brave Ka Ying Star.
Today is set to a lot more in the parade ring and behind the gate and inside the gate. He was so relaxed. That's why I think each run his fitness is coming on, and hopefully until December he should be at the top.
The win took Golden 60's record to 12 wins from 13 starts, and his trainer Francis Loy confirmed afterwards that the 5-year-old will stick to 1600 metres for his next assignment, which is likely to be in the Jockey Club Mile on November the 22nd. As for Beauty Generation, his new trainer David Hayes suggested that he will wear his famous pink blinkers once again, as he hopes for an improved run third up next time. While the Sha Tin Trophy went to script with Golden 60 prevailing as the 1.3 favourite, Wishful Thinker caused a massive upset in taking out the Group 2 Premier Bowl earlier on in the day for the sprinters at the big odds of 44-1.
Computer Patch leads. Perfect Match dropped off. Big Party went to second. Voyage Warrior out wider. Wishful Thinkers getting into the clear. Computer Patch with Hot King Prawn running on. Computer Patch. Wishful Thinker is storming down the centre. Computer Patch leads. Wishful Thinker drives the pair of them. They hit it, and Wishful Thinker.
It was Wishful Thinker's first win for over 18 months, and his first as well for his new trainer Dennis Yip. His performance was even a surprise for jockey Derek Leung.
We thought he would win better last time, but he had trouble in the beginning, and the middle stage we got him too close, and that's how he couldn't finish. And this time we tried to take the blinker off and make him fresh, and he much more relaxed today, and when he see the daylight, he finished very good.
The Premier Bowl may have showcased the best sprinters in Hong Kong at this point in time, but those ranks will be strengthened in the next few weeks, with Saturday's Everest winner Classic Legend already in quarantine in Australia before joining Casper Founds' stable at Sha Tin.
And we'll get to Classique Legend in a moment, but let's start off, Tom, with Golden 60 at the top of our talking points from the weekend. I know he only won by half a length, but he toyed with them on Sunday.
don't worry about the margin. He had panels on those horses. It was the manner in which he did it which was most impressive. Vincent Ho hasn't touched the whip in either of his 2 runs back this campaign, and he's got such an explosive turn of foot. He can just sit off his rivals, pull out into the straight, and then when he asks for an effort, he goes straight past them. Yeah, don't worry about margins or anything like that. He's a seriously good horse. He has them covered, and it'll be exciting to see when Vincent does cut the ribbons one day.
Yes, as Mark McNamara said at the top of the straight, he was absolutely cruising. He's won 12 from 13. I can't see anything here in Hong Kong beating him, Tom.
I agree, Ed. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for any of those horses to turn it around on him, just particularly in his racing style and the way he's going. But the exciting part about that is that we've got a genuine world-class horse coming through in Hong Kong. He's going to be the new banner horse for the Jockey Club and for the city. So that's exciting, and we want to see him come out and do it in December.
Yes, there's shades of Abel Friend really heading into what he did in 2014 with what we've got with Golden 60 in 2020. So of the beaten brigade, the most notable is Beauty Generation. That was his worst performance for quite some time. He is now an 8-year-old. He's been a super horse. He's an 8-time Group 1 winner. But what do we have to say about him now, where he is at his career after Sunday?
Look, it's a slight forgive. It's the first time he's missed a place since April 2018. That's over 2 years. He's been a super horse for a very, very long time. The conditions certainly didn't suit him on Sunday. He was carrying 133 pounds, giving the rest of them all weight, and second up is never ideal for him. He'll be better when he comes back to the set weights races of the Jockey Club Mile and the Hong Kong Mile, but certainly he's towards the end of his career, and his owner Simon Kwok said afterwards, if he doesn't run well in the Hong Kong Mile, he'll be retired, which yeah, hopefully he can still run well and show that he belongs. But if that's the case, well, it's certainly been a wonderful career.
Definitely, he's been such a great horse for Hong Kong racing for the last few seasons. So from Beauty Generation and Golden 60 and the Sha Tin Trophy, let's go to earlier on in the day into the sprinters. Wishful Thinker had been a good horse, of course. I think I'm right in saying that you were there in Dubai when he competed on the world stage on Dubai World Cup night. So we know he's a classy individual, but he'd been out of form. Did you see a performance like that in the wings?
I certainly did not. I think he had his birthday on Sunday, and I certainly don't think he'll be backing that up again. What it really highlighted was the lack of depth in the sprinting ranks in Hong Kong. Computer Patch was solid, but there are still question marks over him running out a strong 1,200 metres. He was probably entitled to do a little bit more, carrying just 117 pounds. The horse I'd be following out of that's Hot King Prawn. He returned pretty solidly. He was carrying 133, and we know he's genuinely competitive in those Group 1 levels. So he'd be the one to follow going forward, but there's certainly a space there for a new superstar to come in.
And that new superstar could be Classique Legend, the winner of the highly valuable Everest in Sydney last weekend. He's already travelled to Melbourne since then to go into quarantine to get ready to come to Hong Kong. Let's get an update, though, on his progress with his new trainer, Casper Founds.
Very exciting, a horse like that, to see what he did the other day. We always knew he had it in him. We always felt he's a horse that's going to bring big things, and I'm glad he's coming up here, and I'll have my chance to train him for some big races, in the future. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He looks a very, very exciting prospect for the stable.
You've had to be patient. This has been in the pipeline for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been in the pipeline for a long time. There's a few setbacks, as everyone knows, but very happy for my owner, Bon. He deserved that victory. He's spent an absolute fortune on horses the last couple of years. He's going at it in a big way. And, you deserve to get some major prize money and win some big races. So I think he's put himself in a position to do that with some of the lovely horses he's bought in the last 12 months.
And how's he pulled up after the Everest? Has there been any reports from Australia
Yes,
so far?
Of course, yeah. We moved him from Sydney to Melbourne on Monday. I'm happy to report he's settled in very well into his new quarantine environment there. He had a little trot around yesterday, nice and easy, and today the same sort of trot and canter 1.5, and he's in great shape. James Winks is riding him for me track work there, and is reporting good things back, that the horse is bright and happy and enjoying himself. So yeah, at this stage we're very excited, and he'll be landing in Hong Kong on the 9th of November, sort of give us sort of 4.5 weeks to prepare him here for the big race.
Casper Founds catching up with Doug Chalmers at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Our thanks as well to Sky Racing and also to Paul Bloodworth for the vision and photos respectively. He's beaten the best in Australia this spring then, Tom, as far as the sprinting ranks are concerned. You spoke about the lack of depth in the sprinting ranks here at the moment in Hong Kong. He's coming up at the perfect time.
Absolutely. Most ratings experts had that effort in the Everest down as the best sprinting performance anywhere in the world this year. So obviously if he can continue that sort of form, get up to Hong Kong in reasonable nick and train on for the Hong Kong sprint, he'll be very, very hard to beat. And then obviously the plan on after that is to take on the world from this base in Hong Kong with potentially Dubai, Tokyo, maybe even Europe, and then back to defend his Everest crown. So it's super exciting for everyone to see a real top-line sprinter come back here at a time when there's not a lot of depth after a lot of injuries and retirements.
Yes, we've seen Casper Founds have great success campaigning sprinters like Lucky 9 around the world in the past, and he'll have a new exciting one in Classic Legend joining his stable very soon, as we just heard then. Plenty more to look forward to on Hong Kong Direct for this week. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll be catching up with Derek Leung and also looking forward to the best of the weekend's action from Sha Tin.